basically what started me on this journey was wasn't even an interest in quantum physics. It was synchronicities that started happening to me a few years ago. It started off with a number 316. I always knew it meant something, never really looked it up. The synchronicities started me on the road to the theory of relativity. Something that Einstein and people alike have never been able to discover, and mathematicians pride themselves on being the closest to establishing what it is. Oh, I've got some news for you, quantum physicists. Neil deGrasse, Marc Persone, Sir Mark or Sir whatever Persone, a lot of respect for you, but you're in self-denial about other people's opinions on the topic. But you're nowhere near to discovering what it actually is all about. Nowhere near. And I have. It's thought relativity to your surroundings. Thought relative to what you're watching. Thought relative to what you hear. The Jungle Book does a good job of describing this. And it's through the bare necessities. Think, listen, learn. Think, listen, learn. Music's a great catalyst of all this. This is where I learned most of my things, and little did these artists know, they were predicting my future through their songs. Little did I realise that's what they were doing until I finally clicked on to what life was all about. It's all about the theory of relativity. It's all about finding peace, unity in the world. It's all about having a balance of positivity over negativity. And people don't seem to see that because people seem to care only about one thing, themselves. It's themselves, which is fair enough to a certain point. But as long as you don't touch others, leave others alone. You know what I mean? Do what you want to do, but leave the rest of the people alone. This is one thing they struggle to realise. And I don't know, there's just so many things I could say, but I'm more of a question and answer type of a guy. When I get on a roll, I get on a roll. Sometimes I'll stall. But, it's basically anything that's presented in front of me, I'll have an opinion on. It's called critical thinking, people. And without it, you wouldn't get anywhere in life. Without it, you'd go crazy. But this is what a lot of people do ignore. They basically ignore common basic sense and knowledge of their surroundings, of what's going on, because they never bother to stop and look. They never bother to stop and look at the homeless person on the street. They've always got a judgmental opinion of them. Oh, look at that bum, look at this, look at that. But that bum's got a story as well. I'm going to have a story to tell soon. And I know I'm going to have a story to tell. Because I've seen bad things happening. So I decided to say something about them. Call me a conspiracy nut, call me this, call me that. But like I said before, everything that I've said makes rational and complete sense to what's been happening. I'm the only one who sort of woken up to it and decided to say something. I'm special, I'm this, I'm that. Whatever you want to say, I don't care. I'm just me. I'm just me, a critical thinker who sees all the things that are happening around the world and all the disaster, the wars, terrorist attacks, police brutality, our government's not giving us staff, pay hikes, interest rates going up, food, shopping, your general everyday groceries that are going up, your bills, water, electricity, gas. What do you think it was a ploy for? To make our lives a lot easier than they were? No, it was to send us into the ground bit by bit. To send us into the ground bit by bit, to destroy society, to rip us apart. You reckon COVID, at the start of COVID, you were panicking? No, those panic buyers are a bunch of freaking idiots because they haven't got a brain. If they thought for 1 second, I only need a few of this item for a couple of days, it would open up the avenue for someone else to get that same amount. But see, these people need to wake up to themselves and how idiotic they actually were because they actually just only thought about themselves in that circumstance. It's effing shocking. You know what I mean? Not to think about anyone else in that circumstance but yourself. Those people should be ashamed of themselves, and I'm not going to be embarrassed to say that. Because they should be. For all the rolls they've still probably got stored up in their house, somebody would have missed out. For all the parts that they bought at the start of COVID, they've still probably got it. They wouldn't have eaten it, but yeah, other people went without it at that time. Think about your actions. actions, people. Think rationally for once about what you're doing. Do some research. Don't listen to everything you hear on the news. This is how I essentially got to where I am now. And I don't care what anyone says. It may not all be truthful. But I'm pretty sure 80% of it is. Even close to 90%. But it's all opinion based. I'm not creating a conspiracy here. I'm just looking at the situation around the world like I've said over the last 20 years and making an opinion on it, putting up my own opinion about what's happening around the world. Look, I've started my sort of public speaking and such now. I'm only going to get better at it. But like I said, I'm better at a question and answer sort of type of bloke. I can give you my opinions, you can listen to them, don't have to listen to them. You know, it's up to you to decide really at the end of the day. But if you have a look at everything that's happened, like I've said, over the last 30 years, you see we were going nowhere. You can see over the last 4 years that we were going nowhere because there was no democratic help from any avenue. Mate, you've got two states in the United States right next to each other, one run by a Republican, the other run by a Democrat. There's a natural disaster that happens in that state, but the Democratic state's not going to send people over to help. What kind of a fucking country, what kind of an effing country is that? And it's not the Republicans' fault. You've got to look at who was in power all that time. Who brought it to that point? Who was it? Oh, let me guess. The demonic Democrats? You know, sorry for being sarcastic at times, but I've got to because, you know, I find this situation so laughable that people can't see that it's actually scary. Scary to the point where people were just ready. Well, they wouldn't have had a choice. And you're not going to have a choice if you don't vote the Republicans in. You have to vote the Republicans in. You've got to vote POTUS in. There is no other way. You vote the Democrats in, we're pretty much all screwed. Pretty much all screwed. Once you get that through your heads, and please do. Like I said, there's a lot riding on it. I'm going to keep on repeating myself because repetition is the best form of getting a message through to people, especially when it's this serious. And I wouldn't be doing this for no reason. I'm telling you right now, if it was Donald Trump doing the opposite thing, I'd be having a go at him as well. But I know for a fact that he's the one trying to improve things. I don't, just from what he's done, like, it's almost a fact. I don't give a fuck what you call it. Look what he's done. He actually makes the effort to go out and see these disaster sites. You don't see Joe Biden going out there. You don't see Hillary going out there or a Democratic representative. He's the one doing these hard yards. He's the one who wants to get amongst people, but he's never been able to because he's always been pushed back himself. People brag about how many times he's gone broke. Oh, I fucking worked out why. Because you had idiots from above who were stopping him at every intersection. He builds there. He wants to help society. No, we're gonna clamp you down. We're gonna make you broke here. We're gonna take your business and we're gonna sink it because we're gonna open up another business. It's all fucking political propaganda, and it's fucking bullshit to be treated like that, no matter who you are. You know, there are good rich people in the world. It's the good rich people that need to get together and make a stand. They're the ones who are capable of doing it. You know, if they can get together and actually come to some sort of agreement, I believe we've got a prosperous future. You know, voting for Democrats, people are going to slowly open their eyes to what they haven't opened their eyes to all these years. And finally realise there's something better out of life than being controlled the way we have been. And to think that it was only going to get worse. I mean, come on people. Please. It's time to just sit tight. Let the elections roll through, vote the Republicans in, and then you can truly see what they're going to be capable of, because I've seen it just through the adversaries that have come their way over the last 4 years, and they've pushed through it. They've still managed to do things. And come on, who does that? You've got to say, someone who can do that is someone you need to lead the country. Someone who's brushed off the side everything that's being thrown at him in Donald Trump. to get America to where it needs to be, because that was his agenda from the start. He wanted a good, prosperous American dream America. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He wears America on his sleeve because he is the patriotic one in America. He doesn't want to send America into the ground. No. That's what the Democrats wanted to do, people. Now, whether you're a celebrity, an everyday citizen, a lawyer, a surgeon, I couldn't give a stuff. Because at this point in time, I do believe I'm smarter than a whole lot of you put together. Whoever you put in front of me. I've got this confidence that I am because I've worked it out. So the theory of relativity played a big role in everything I've been able to achieve. And in due time, my story will come out. I've lived the tough yards. I've gone through my drug habits. I've been an alcoholic when I was younger, but I've battled through it all to get to the point I'm at now. And it was all through willpower, knowing that there has to be something better in life. Not this systematic life that we've learned to live. You know, it's okay for rich people, but let me tell you now, it wouldn't have even been okay for them if they disagreed to go with the Democrats. They basically would have been squashed. Either join us, or we're going to fucking, you know what I mean, knock you off. And if you guys don't know that already by now, then you're stupider than I thought. And I don't mean that in an offensive way. I'm just telling you just so you can open your eyes. I'm a simple guy from Australia who just happens to see the whole world for what it is, and who's thought about it for months, for years, on how we can make changes. Who's going to come and make the change? When are they going to come and make the change? You know, and it's going to happen. It will happen this year. Changes have been slowly being made throughout the last 4 years. And when the time comes, you know, when it happens, you're going to say, go up and see why. You were right. And I already know this, people. I already predicted this 10 months ago. It was almost like I read my own future. And it just advanced from there. You know, and we've all got the ability to use the theory of relativity in our everyday lives if we just paid attention to the things around us and our surroundings in conjunction with thought at the time. It works. There's no two ways about it. I've seen into parallel universes. I've seen ghosts. I've captured orbs. And you think this is all unbelievable, but no. This is where the quantum element, quantum physics comes into it. The quantum relativity of it all comes into one. So, you know, I don't have to be that scientifically minded and use those big vocabulary words that they use just to confuse everyone. You just got to look outside yourself to see what's going on. That's basically it. You know, you don't need a politician. You don't need to be a politician to get into politics. You just basically need to see what needs to be done, have a bit of critical thinking, and go ahead and get it done. And hopefully, get the support you need to get it done. So that's why this election is important. That's why 2016 was important. But this year, let the Republicans stomp home, people. The people of the USA have to stand up and realise now that it has to happen. It has to. Take it or leave it, but it will happen. I've got every faith in the American people that they will make the right choices for the first time in a long time. And don't take offense to that either. I just want to wake you guys up, okay? Anyway, peace out. You'll hear from me soon.